if the Writing Center had not been here, I kind of have to reverse back to when I first started here at Wallace. When I started, I had just graduated high school, and I came here because my mom told me, if you don't go right out of graduating, it's a lot harder to get, it's a lot harder to motivate yourself to get in. Yeah. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was like, all right, I wanted to take her advice because I figured you have like 40 years upwards of experience on me. You probably know what you're talking about. So I went. I had no direction. And for the first year, I still didn't. And so I just was kind of like tootling along, just kind of taking classes and working an entry-level job. I was just at Target. I had even kind of quit school for a while because of financial reasons. I couldn't keep up with classes anymore because I couldn't afford to take them. And I actually, Dr. Payne, a psychology professor, would come to Starbucks, because I worked at Starbucks at Target, and would come all the time. He's like, you got to get back in school. He's like, you're too smart to just be working here. You've got to get back in school. So, I made sure, I re-enrolled in the fall, and I was back in, and I realized I've got to do something, and I was seeing the flyers around about hiring tutors, and so I popped in Randy's office one day and met him and got an interview the next couple of weeks to get this job. And it was just such a crazy environment to kind of be in, because I went from just being to having to believing that I couldn't do anything.
Right.
I believed, I just didn't think that coming from the town that I lived in, where I didn't really see any, I thought that either, to be successful, I either had to be a teacher, or I had to be a nurse, or I had to, be in some sort of medical profession. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not something I was interested in. I always was artsy, and that wasn't something that was, that thrives around here.
Right.
But I got in and I met all of you guys, and it was there was so much support and so much just enthusiasm. And so I started looking into, schools that did it. And I was like, you know what, why not take the risk? And, Randy started, pointing me and directing me in all these ways. And, I since then I got accepted at, one of the biggest schools in America, that Savannah College of Art and Design, and I've put on 2 art exhibits, and a year, 2 years ago I was working at Target, and it's all these great things have happened, and none of it would have happened if I hadn't have seen the Writing Center flyers here.
Well, for me, I just moved up here to Dothan from Miami about 2.5 years ago, so I was not happy. First of all, I did not want to move here in the first place, straight out of high school. So I enrolled in Wallace in the spring term of 2015, but I didn't really talk to anybody, because for me this was a temporary stay and I was not going to make any friends. I shut out everybody completely. Had my headphones in, listening to my music, ate lunch by myself every day, went to class, sat in the courtyard. I didn't want to talk to nobody because I didn't want to be here. But after English 101, English 102, Miss Payne, English teacher, Miss Payne, she kept saying, why don't you go to the Writing Center, go to the Writing Center. I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay. But then, financial reasons, you can relate. And I'm just like, oh gosh, now I need money. So I came in here. But Emily was still the director here. Mm-hmm. So I had an interview with her and Sarah, and I'm like, oh gosh, well, I hope I get this. And then when I did get the job, I was still quiet around the place. I didn't really want to talk to anybody still. But because there's such a great force of people around, it kind of broke my wall down and just kind of opened me up. And I'm just like, oh wow, these are some really good people. Yeah. So I would have never made friends if the Writing Center was here, because I would have still had the same mindset that I didn't want to do nothing. Mm-hmm. And just like you, Randy directs you to, different art things. And he found out that I wrote poetry. He got me into doing open mic night and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's beneficial.
Yeah.
The Reading Center wasn't here. I wouldn't know that I could put on an open mic night, and you wouldn't know you could put on an art exhibit.
Yeah.
So I think it's very beneficial to not just academically and intellectually, but socially.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think the Reading Center in a lot of ways has just, it takes a student and just like helps them find their niche.
Expand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. I love it.
Yeah.